I received this question on my website awakenwithsagar.com. How to handle anger and anxiety, how to regain confidence. A very short but a very interesting question. Subscribe to my YouTube channel Awaken with Sagar and don't forget to hit the bell icon to receive the latest updates. Let me get this out of the way. This is not a challenge कि कभी भी गुस्सा नहीं करना है. I am not trying to mock anybody, but that is toxic positivity. If you are feeling negative and if you end up in yelling at someone, fighting with someone, having an argument, a heated discussion with someone, and a very, very nasty conversation with someone as well, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. It is okay. But then learn from it. Try to avoid it again. Why? Because that creates a lot of negativity in the environment, within you and within the other person. It is possible that you end up in hurting the other person, and especially if that person is your well wisher, someone who loves you a lot, someone who cares for you. You don't want to hurt such a person from your side, isn't it? That is very, very important. So these are the only two reasons why negativity or anger is not required. Negativity is not required. So this is, like I said, negativity is not desired and you should not create negativity. But even if you end up in creating it, it's okay. Don't curse yourself. Don't go into this guilt mode. Don't try to call yourself a sinner or believe that now you will go to hell. See, basically, you have to understand that this is a journey without destination. So, on the way to, because this is about self improvisation and that is always continuous, because we never know how much negativity resides within us in the form of what I call resident evils. So, you have to understand that it's okay to fall down on the way. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to do things that you once decided not to do, because you are in the process of learning. That is what, if you make the aim or goal of your life to stay as peaceful as possible, stay as happy as possible, keep yourself charged as much as possible, emotionally charged, to keep yourself busy, emotionally busy again as much as possible, to keep learning, to keep growing and improving as a person. If these are your aims that cannot be seen through the naked eye, then that journey is a continuous journey. Unlike the journey of people who have very, very physical goals in their lives or material goals in their lives. So it's okay. That is the crux of this talk. But then you also have to remember that you have to keep learning from that. You have to keep growing from that. You cannot just be blind and keep repeating those mistakes that you have been doing for all these years now. And on this journey, you cannot really pinpoint every single negative thinking process or belief or thought that you have within yourself. That is not the right way to do that anyway. You just have to focus elsewhere, which is where, when your question specifically says how to deal with anger, how to deal with anxiety, you can't. You have to ignore the anger. You have to give less importance to anger. You have to tell yourself that I want to be loving. I do not want to be loving to every single person who I come across. That is again toxic positivity. I want to be loving towards the people who I want to be loving towards. I want to be civil with certain people. I want to be professional with certain people. So instead of getting angry, my higher priority is to be as civil, as professional, as decent as I can. And you will learn that. It does not happen overnight. It needs self work. And that is where those mistakes also come into picture. Unless and until you make those mistakes, unless and until you get angry a couple of times after deciding to not get angry ever in life, that is when you can come back and dissect that for some time and then learn from that and improve the way you want to handle or deal with those similar kinds of scenarios. So mistakes are also helpful. You do not have to repeat them. You can make new mistakes as well, but then keep learning. That is the most important thing. Don't keep torturing yourself. Keep learning. Sometimes some people make such a big facade or issue of all of these spiritual ideas that you get lost into this sea or ocean of spiritual thinking or correct ways of thinking. And especially if around you do not have people who are on a similar path, that makes your journey even more difficult. and I have been through that as well. But it is so important to believe in yourself as well. Believing in yourself and your ability to choose whatever you want in your life. You create your own life by the virtue of your choices, isn't it? Everything that has happened in your life was chosen by you. Maybe by mistake, maybe accidentally, maybe consciously, but it was your choice, and you have lived your life so far, and your life has been beautiful at most of the times, 90% of the times, isn't it? These are just a few scenarios that we sometimes want to get rid of, but then you can only get rid of them eventually over a period of time. They begin to fade away. They may not disappear one fine day, they begin to fade away. You end up in learning and developing new ways to deal with those people. It is 99% of the times because of people only, isn't it? You learn that by practicing it. And words do not really give you that understanding as much as your own experiences do, isn't it? Words can help you boost yourself, but then you have to experience those things. You have to practice doing that a couple of times before you become an expert in your ways of interacting with the world out there. Not everybody can be rich, not everybody can be popular on the social media, not everybody can have that same designation at a workplace, but everybody who wants to be can be peaceful, can be happy, and can be that genuine, honest, focused, and a purposeful individual from within, one who is aware of the self. That is extremely important. And the only way to do that is regular positive thinking. See, all of these words like anxiety, fear, depression, I'm not discarding any of that, because people have spent years in coming up with these understandings of life and coming up with possible solutions also for that. So I'm not discarding any of that, but these are all words for negative thinking, isn't it? Chronic negative thinking. So in order to stop that chronic negative thinking, you cannot stop that train. You cannot stop the train by pulling the chain. All that you have to do is sit in another train that goes in another direction. You just have to make sure that your life's journey is continuing to become more and more positive. You are basically becoming more and more, bit by bit, stronger and more positive from within. I'm not saying that go out there and love every single individual who you come across. That is also very, very toxic positivity, because there are so many people who behave in ways that are hateable, isn't it? So you don't necessarily have to love everybody, but then you have to remember that there are some good people in this world. Someone asked me a very interesting question further to a post that I wrote somewhere on the social media about how certain movies or certain songs or even certain agendas are made for mass manipulation in order to weaken people, in order to make people more dumb or dull. So someone asked me, Sagar, why would someone do this? So the answer is very simple, isn't it? There are some good people in this world and there are some bad people in this world. Now, basically, everybody is a good person, but they have, in a way, given higher precedence or priority to some other things that they want to achieve in their lives. Now, whether they do or not is another discussion altogether. But at a surface level, there are two types of people, isn't it? Ones who want to be good to others, ones who want to be bad to others, ones who are consciously trying and making efforts to behave goodly with others, and others who are not doing anything for others. Others write messages on their t-shirts that say, I am not paid enough to be good to you, isn't it? So you have to understand that there are good people in this world. Go and find them. That is very interesting and that is very, very important.